I met my wife, Paige, when we were both 20 at the gym. We caught each other's eyes. I thought she was super sexy, and eventually I worked up the courage to ask her out, and a month later we started dating exclusively. At first, we got along really well. Paige was a little spoiled at times and was often rude to people she thought were below her, like waitstaff at restaurants. And she absolutely despised homeless people. She was even worse when she was with her friend group. Paige and three of her friends from high school would meet up every now and then to drink wine and bitch about everyone they knew. I called them the Pussy Posse and avoided being around them as much as possible. They were mean and particularly nasty when they were drunk. I didn't care. I was young and in love with Paige. She was the hottest girl I'd ever dated in my life, and she did honestly have some other redeeming qualities. After 2 years of dating, when I graduated university and got a job at a software company, I proposed to her, and she said yes. We were married a few months later. She wanted a big wedding, and I spent a lot of money that I should have probably saved, just to make sure she had the best wedding a girl could ask for. Things were great for the first 6 months of marriage, but then it all went downhill. She became progressively meaner to me and entitled to all the money I earned from my job. I was already earning quite a bit more than other guys my age, but it didn't feel like it. Paige was spending money as soon as it hit the bank account. She became more and more distant from me, and sex dried up between us. She spent more time going out drinking with the Pussy Posse than spending quality time with me. My wife had treated me terribly. If I were to be completely honest, that is an understatement. After only being married just shy of a year, Paige had an affair and moved in with her new partner, leaving me feeling like my world had been flipped upside down. It happened so quickly. One moment we're married, the next I'm being told that she doesn't love me anymore and that she's engaged to someone she has known for just half a year. Yeah, she got engaged while we were still married. Then we got divorced and she pretty much took everything, leaving me to start from scratch. I was a very angry guy at the time, and I really wanted to get back at Paige somehow. I have to admit, I wasn't always the most perceptive person when it came to women. But when it comes to computers, that's a different story. I studied computer science at a top-notch university and quickly became adept at all things tech-related. Paige, on the other hand, was clueless. In fact, she never even bothered to change her password for her email or her Facebook account. It was like she was practically begging me to take a look. So, I started peering into Paige's digital life. I spied on her for months. I found out that she had been unfaithful to me even before we tied the knot. She had another guy, even back then, and it seemed she was still meeting up with him periodically, even though she had a new fiancé. She was cheating on the guy she cheated on me with. I was infuriated but kept my emotions in check. I logged into her account and read all of her messages and saved whatever popped up in her inbox. There were an overwhelming number of them. I discovered that my wife was sending explicit photos of all three of us, her fiancé, me, and the other man she had been unfaithful with, to her girlfriends in a group chat. The Pussy Posse talked about their husbands and boyfriends behind their backs and constantly disparaged them. My wife had said she was mostly attracted to her new lover because of his wealth, and all of them enjoyed discussing how often they cheated on their partners. In fact, they actively encouraged each other to cheat. It was like some kind of sick competition they had going. I was horrified by what I had learned, but I also realized it gave me plenty of leverage. Over the next few weeks, I gathered enough evidence to ruin their reputations for good and then some. It was a beautiful thing. While all this was happening, I took a lucrative job in Europe and moved overseas. I was keen to get away from home, especially for what I had planned next. Having collected all of the damning evidence, I logged onto her Facebook. Taking a deep breath, I posted my pre-written report, documenting every malicious detail of their messages, pictures, and claims. None of the women's names were blurred out. I made sure they would all be held accountable. Then I tagged Paige's parents, fiancé, friends, and the posse's families in the post before setting it to public view. Lastly, I changed the password on her Facebook, email address, phone number, and alternative mail address to make sure she wouldn't be able to access these accounts again. Then I logged out, and I enjoyed the show. Paige was desperately trying to make amends from a separate account. Her fiancé was having an explosive outburst in full view of everyone. Friends and family all chimed in. It was mayhem. The engagement was broken off. My wife's circle of friends was torn apart after what happened, each person trying to put the blame onto someone else. All their relationships fell apart. The public shaming she received must have done some real damage, hitting her in a place that would really hurt. I observed as my wife and her clique of vain associates saw their meticulously crafted, pristine images get destroyed and turned to ashes. It was glorious. Paige's life was ruined. The last I heard, she had moved to the opposite coast and shacked up with another guy. He had a lot of money too, it seems. Damn. Would it have been too much to ask for Paige to end up on the streets with the homeless people she despised so much? Oh well. She's still young and beautiful and knows exactly how to leverage her beauty for her own gain. I just pity the guy she's with now. He has no idea what he's in for, unless somebody sends him a carefully curated document detailing exactly what kind of person she really is. Maybe I'll consider it. Probably not, though. I feel like I've achieved what I set out to do. I don't think it's healthy to spare another thought for my ex-wife. She doesn't deserve to live in my head anymore. It's better for me to move on with my life and live it well. That's the best form of revenge anyway, or so I've heard. Thanks for listening.